It is day 186, and you're speaking to the Meeples Champion. And today we're going to be going over a game that I actually found in a thrift store. I've already gone over the basic version of this. I've gone over the newer Kickstarter I got in earlier this year of this. But this game is called Chess 4. Now, when we went over War Chess was a game that was also a 4-player. The difference was that it was a bigger board, and the game was designed to be played in a new way from the corners. This game is not set up that way. This game is set up specifically as just a regular chess game, that it also extends out those 2 extra rows on each side where the actual armies go, and you're in an all-out war fighting each other. The game is not, necessarily bad. It's just there's nothing extra to it. All it is chess with the extra 2 lanes, and so play, fight it out, and see who wins. Now, there's multiple ways you can kind of approach this game. You could approach it and say, okay, well, we still have to get a checkmate to eliminate somebody. You could do it as now, until you're down to 2 players, kings can just be killed. You can do it as the first person to get a checkmate wins the game. There's multiple ways to approach it. It's not necessarily constrained to one way. That being said, I don't find the game to necessarily be anything special. It's not one that's going to get played, especially now that I have my newer version of War Chess. I have no reason to play this one. But even before then, it just sat on my shelf. It's just not one you're going to see get to the table very often. But why don't we jump in? Let's judge us on our 7 categories and see where it really lands for us. So, when it comes to the art, the board is fine. There's nothing wrong with the board. But the box has a lot to give. This is really just a picture of the board. There's nothing special about the color around it. I get it. They're trying to go for fancy. It's a marble box, but it's not. It's not fancy. It just seems lazy and it doesn't attract the eye. I'm a massive chess fan. So going through a thrift store, I go through a thrift store like Savers or Goodwill or anything like that, looking for the board game section, trying to see if I get lucky. Sometimes people do, basically give away really good games that are in great condition. I came across this for like $2, so I said, sure, I'll pick it up. Because if I see the word chess on it, I'll at least look. And it just wasn't worth it to me. I just don't think that the art of this would ever attract somebody's eyes in a regular store. So it's got to be a thumbs down. Surprisingly, when it comes to the components, I normally give them credit, but these are like the worst case scenario chess pieces. These are those little plastic, they're basically hollow chess pieces. They're easy to break. They're not very big. There's nothing great about them. It's going to be a thumbs down. Your price. So the price for this is a back and forth. I got it really cheap because I found it at a thrift store, which is really only place you're ever going to find it. This is not a good game. It's not available at Targets. It's not available at Barnes & Noble. It's not available in board game stores. Yes, if you find a chess exclusive board game store, you might find this. But are you going to find that? I don't think so. I know a store that literally, the title, we've already reviewed it on this channel, is the Queen's Gambit. When they named the store, it was before the show came out. So after the show came out, they were like, well, I guess we should put a chess section in. So they have the most expansive chess section of a store I've ever seen. And I've not seen this there. This is not going to be found in stores. It's not available. So it's got to be a thumbs down. Your difficulty. So when it comes to the difficulty, I think that learning chess is a difficult game, but it can be taught to kids. I learned when I was young, so I don't think the difficulty kicks you out at that age. But I think to try to throw in 2 extra players and essentially make this now a required 4-player game makes it a lot less likely to get your kids or your beginner players in here. When it comes to your experts and your experienced players, I think you're just going to get a small portion of each that are willing to try this game, because you have to find 4 legit chess players. Even though this becomes more of a game now because it's 4-player, so it might not be somebody that's an expert who's going to go win this because you've taken away the norms of a chess game by expanding out the sides and adding extra players in. You still are dealing with if they're not a chess player, they're unlikely to really be intrigued by this. So for me, it's got to be a thumbs down. Your replayability. I mean, you got to get it to the table first to be able to replay it. And I never got this to the table. It's never gotten there. I've never been able to pull off a 4-player game because it's so hard to find 4 people who want to play chess. So for me, replayability, I mean, maybe if you manage to get this game as like a training fun game for a chess club in high school. But the thing is, if you have a chess club, it's usually because you're competing in basic chess and you're practicing for matchups to go to states. So for me, this game doesn't have the replayability. It's got to be a thumbs down. The keys to victory. So there are keys to victory here. You can choose to try to ally yourself with somebody to your left or right and basically go, hey, let's work together. We're going to have border protection. You can work on trying to specifically target certain types of pieces. You can go defensive and say, hey, I'm going to really like border in and try to make sure nobody's getting into my stuff, and I'm going to protect myself as best I can. There's stuff there. The problem I have with a game like this is the game is pure attack and kill. So for 3 people to have a turn after you, I think that when it comes to those keys to victory, it's more so about their keys than yours, because you get one move. All right, I'll protect myself. Well, if the next 3 moves are this person opens up a lane, this person kills the thing that you just put there to protect yourself, and now this person's able to skinch through, it's not going to do you much. So there's keys to victory, but they don't mitigate the fact that if at any point all 3 people decide this is a way to wipe you out, they're going to do it. You can't defend against 3 opponents. So I feel like that's just not realistic. For me, there's not enough there. It's got to be a thumbs down. Is the game unique? We have chess. So already you've lost all of your pieces and how they work. And you've lost about 2/3 of your board. But then on top of that, we have war chess. And war chess is the exact same board design, just with some extra. So this is not unique. The game is just been done lots of times. I know I've seen 3-player chess. I've seen other versions of 4-player chess. It's out there. It's available. They might go by different names, but it's there. It's got to be a thumbs down. Overall, what do I think? I think this is an absolute do not buy. I think this is a game that, because I found it at a thrift store, was the only way I got my hands on it and was going to want to get my hands on it. And that's the end of it. And I think that the only suggestion I would make would be, if you're trying to help out a chess club and they want to have a way to play a little different and to give themselves that ability to think harder, sure, if you have a copy of it, toss it in and see if a chess club wants to play 4-player. And maybe by playing that way, you'll be able to get used to having a multiple person attack on you, and that can help you to think critically faster, and then go apply that and see how fast you move in a regular one-on-one game again. Maybe that'll help you think faster. So as a training process, it could help. But beyond that, I just don't think it's a good game, and I don't think it's one I'd recommend for anybody. Well, it has been day 186, and we've been speaking about the game Chess 4. And you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description. I'll be adding in an Amazon link in case you do want to get this game for your collection. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.